I bet you never heard this one before when it comes to tarot. Okay, there are 3 cards that I think have a special significance to each other, and I haven't heard anybody say this, but if you have, comment and let me know, okay? Because I'd love to talk more about it. So I noticed this pattern in 3 cards. 2 of them are major arcana cards, and 1 of them is a minor arcana card. So the cards that I am talking about today are the World card. Let me show you. Bop. The World. Okay. 2 of Wands. Okay. And the Fool card. Yay. So it is my thought process that these 3 cards are actually very much tied together. The World and the Fool, you're like, yeah, of course, Vaughn, it's the beginning of the major arcana, and the World is the end of the major arcana, and then this cycle that keeps on happening. But I venture to say that the 2 of Wands is a card in between the World and the Fool. And here's why. So the World card is what it is in terms of that totality of completion. You know, you made it to the big culmination of the thing. It's completed, all the things, right? And there are two structures in the hand of the individual who's in the world, right? And these aren't considered to be wands in terms of how the wands are, but I consider them to be wands. You know why? Because then in 2 of Wands, there are 2 wands and the holding of the world. The holding of the world. The world. Okay. So holding of the world, right? So there's a connection between those 2 cards. This card, 2 of Wands, is all about that planning. It's about the planning. It's about the, before I take this step, you know, what choices do I want to make? How is it going to go? It's very planning before we actually start to move forward, go forward in that next kind of 3 of Wands. It's like, yes, I know which direction I'm going to go in. But in this 2 of Wands, you know, when you start off seeing 2 of Wands, the character is already in what appears to be a fortress of some sort because of the way that they are dressed. We can venture to say that this may be their fortress, or they are held in some kind of high esteem. Look how they are elevated over the land. They can see it all, right? And they're looking at the world like, and where will I go next? What will I do next? Yeah? So where does the Fool card come in? Well, as you can see in here, we have a wand, right? We have 2 wands. In the Fool card, I consider this to be a wand, because typically when you would make something like this, it would be a wooden staff, right? And you'd have the little thing at the end, right? That's a wand. Holding a wand. Holding a wand. Right? And one thing that we know about that cycle, that major arcana cycle, is that when the world, that culmination has ended, that cycle has ended, you start back over, well, as it says in major arcana world, into the Fool card. But in this little satchel right here, I consider that to be all of the experiences that you had in your last cycle. You're taking it with you to go into the next. So you start from scratch, but don't start from scratch. You know, it's like you're starting with all this information as you go into the next phase, right? And that's where I feel like that 2 of Wands comes from. And with Wands having such that ability of that inspiration, that like spark, it makes sense to me that it would be in a Fool card, because you're at the beginning. There typically is this like adrenaline rush at the beginning of something. There's this spark of inspiration. And with the Sun being in the Fool card as well, sun, fire, these are all kind of that fire feel right there, or kind of helping to back in that journey. So yeah, I think that those 3 cards are actually intertwined with each other much more than we may have thought before. So tell me what you think about that, and tell me what you think about that placement. Any thoughts? I want to hear them all. So just another Truly brilliant tarot moment.